think I've always had the freedom to express myself in any way, shape or form, whether that's music or the clothes I wear or the way I communicate myself on social media. And I hope that never changes, where I'd have to control myself in that regard, and I always want to make sure that that expression keeps going, and that creative expression more importantly. There's so many parts of the story that I know so clearly when you're talking about like year 1 to year 10, and I'm excited for year 10. You know, there's a world that I'm building, and it may take more than 10 years, it may take 15 years, but I'm committed to building that world, and that world includes a lot of things that I'm really, really passionate about. Like, I think fashion has played such a role in my life. And I don't think that would have happened unless I moved here, because in India there's, you know, fashion wasn't as accessible. You had your usual go-to like fast fashion stores and stuff like that, but to really express yourself was a lot harder in India. And it's getting so much easier now, but at the time when I was growing up, like the people I came here and I saw everyone's dressing completely differently, and that gave me a lot of confidence to experiment and try a lot of new things, and made me realize what I loved about fashion. And once I started dressing the way I wanted to, and noticing a shift in my energy with wearing certain things, I knew how important it was going to be in my life. And
was that only once you were here you started doing that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I just got a lot more confident. I think being lost with your identity helps you try out so many different things. And because I was so lost, I was trying to fit in and find different ways to fit in. I think I fit in really well through fashion, because that felt like that was one aspect that was so me. I didn't have to change for anyone else.
Did it feel like you were fitting in a sense where fashion was showing people who you are, or was it like, oh, I'm using fashion to hide who I am?
I think fashion was showing who I really was.
Right.
Like, it finally brought out like, oh, this guy's confident, he's gonna wear whatever he wants. He's gonna dye his hair, he's gonna wear pearls. Like, I remember like wearing pearls 3 years ago, and there's loads of just random men at Leeds at the time. We would just be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah.
And now everyone, all those same boys are probably wearing pearls right now. But it was, for me, it just really communicated who I was as a person, and it brought this confidence that, again, that I didn't realize at the time that it would have brought me. And I wasn't as confident with the music, and then the fashion side of it made me confident enough in myself that then it started helping build the music side of things, and that really played into that whole part. And I'm so grateful for that, because it's like the two biggest things that control our lives. It's the music we listen to walking down the street, and what you're wearing walking down the street. And
well, it changes your whole feeling. When you step outside wearing a certain outfit, you feel like a different person.
Yeah, like imagine like having the most badass music on, and you're wearing the most badass outfit. You're king of the world. You're main character right there. You know? And I think that's so important. We need more people to be main characters, and that can be through any way, shape, or form. And that's why I'm so firmly grounded in what I want to achieve through fashion. And, you know, I want my merch to represent that. I want the brand I'm creating with fashion. I'm going to have my own label, clothing line, and that's so important to me, because I don't want it to be just, oh, here's a merch, here's my name on a t-shirt, take it. I want it to represent the expression, you know, that really, I want an artist to wear, I want a fan to wear my merch and be like, yeah, I'm supporting my artist. It's not like a big logo anywhere. Like, maybe sometimes not even a logo anywhere, but it's more of like, I'm supporting my favorite artist right now, but I look fucking amazing.
I feel like then what you really want to do, you're trying to give that feeling that you had.
Yeah, it's that. I think that's so important, and that's a better way to explain it, because I think that's probably where it stems from, is like, I want someone to wear something that I have made and go, yeah, I look amazing,
Yeah.
you know, and I wanted to, that would represent my merch, but also the fashion line I'm creating. It's like both of that has to feel the same, and
Because it's one thing to wear a t-shirt with an artist's face on it and support an artist. It's another thing to wear something that shows your identity a little bit.
and if it helps someone express themselves in the way they want to express themselves, amazing. Like and I think that's so important, and that was something I was given even from my parents, of like being able to, as brown kids especially, like you can't dye your hair sometimes, and you can't, you know, and I'm so grateful to my parents, and I hope other kids can also see that and just kind of go for it, you know, because that is so much more important to you than that relationship even with your parents. It's like, you need to be able to express yourself, because I know how much joy it brings you when you do express yourself. And
I suppose, especially in India, I imagine like a lot of people don't have parents that allow them that freedom, and being that there isn't other artists that look like you that also allow you that freedom, if it wasn't for your parents you wouldn't have that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and hopefully the more the artists do that, more brown artists do, their parents go, oh cool, because like a lot of my mum's friends go, oh yeah, your son looks really good with that hair or whatever, but I know they wouldn't let their kid do it,
right.
You know?
But now hopefully, even if maybe their parents don't let them do it, there's someone they could look up to eventually.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of what, for me, I think that's what the next 10 years represents for me. Is like, I want to build that world for people that want to come and support me on my journey. I can give back to them in terms of creative expression, and that could be giving them a soundtrack to just walk to. You may not be into the fashion, you may just be into the music, so I'm giving you a soundtrack for you to walk down and just feel main character. Or you love the fashion too, or you just love the fashion, you know, and I think that's the world I really want to create. And even from cinema, I really want to get into that world and really storytell and like tell stories. That I'm tired of the Indian narratives of like parents not allowing the kids to do something. Well, let's make a movie about it. Like, I want to invest in stories that tell different Indian experiences throughout, because there's a billion of us, like 1.5 billion people. There's so many multifaceted stories to tell, and I want to show that to the rest of the world and express that to the rest of the world. That's why my story is I'm so happy that I have the story that I have, that I can now show other people. Like, Indian stories don't have to be one story, it can be multiple different stories, and I'm an example of one kind of story. And tomorrow there's going to be another artist from India who's, and you know what, I also want that another artist from India to do way better than me quicker, you know, that's what I want. I want people who are struggling with their self-identity, if I can help in any way, like, that would make me the happiest person in the world. I don't think the success would matter if I can help people express themselves who are struggling with because I know I've struggled with it for so long. And no matter what happens with my music, and even if I don't become the artist I want to become, I'm so grateful that I've got confidence in who I am as a person, and that's probably what's going to get me through the tough times when like I'm in a lull in my career and you know things aren't moving, because I'll know at least I've stayed true to myself through that time. And I just want anyone, man, I think that's what I want the most, is like, I want people to recognize that if you are struggling with self-identity, you need to experiment, you need to try different things until you find that person that you are, because that is the most happiest you'll ever be, because it's so heartwarming, because even when things aren't going right, you'll at least know that I am the person that I've always wanted to be. And I hope kids around that can see it. I hope I can build a world that people feel safe in and comfortable in, and then they can feel like they can represent themselves as best they can, and then take it outside of that world and be whoever they want to be anywhere, you know. And I hope I can represent that confidence for people, and that's why I have the purpose and the urge to do this. It's like, I can't stop. I need to keep going.
Because it's not just for you
It's
anymore.
not just for, even if it's like 2, 3, 5 kids who go, that's really helped me to be the person that I want to be. That would mean the world to me.
Already at your show, people would come up and say, yo, do you know him? Do you know producers? Like people like looking up to you.
That was so special when I did that show, and that's why we had those t-shirts, and I wanted them to give back. They were all free t-shirts that I wanted to use my resources to be able to, my limited resources, to give back to the people that have come there. And I've seen some of them, and most of them are brown kids and just happy to be there, and they're so glad to see someone kind of go out for their dreams like that. And I'm so happy that even if 2 people came to the show and they loved it, and it inspired them to do something, that is all I could ever ask for with this, and that's all I'm ever hoping for. And I'm not looking for that fat record deal. I'm looking for people to come up to me and be like, "You're doing a great job. Keep doing you. I see it in you. I see the confidence, and I'm getting more confident in myself."
Yeah. Kind
It's
of.
the dream, man.
That's it.